Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido here and welcome to week 1 of the Championship Series as we are starting off with our qualifying final in Fuchsia City as the Royal Gators are hosting the Spike Myth Suede Grunts. And the last time these sides met up, the Dark Types ran away with it, but will that happen again? Let us know in the comments below who you think will win. Will it be the Poison Types or will it be the Dark Types? Let's send it down. That's right, last time these two sides met, the Spike and Swag Grunts won 6-2 as they're starting out with Hydreigon and Roaring Moon. It will be Goodra and Sneasler starting out for the Fuchsia Royal Gators, and immediately Goodra is going to be taking on that fantastic Terrestrial form, oozing that poisonous liquid that it has capitalized on all season, as we start off with two pseudo legendaries in this matchup as well. Now, even though the Spike and Swag Grunts did run away with it last time, the Fuchsia Royal Gators went on to win 10 games after that loss, as we get the Arm Thrust from Sneasler. It is a part fighting type, and this is going to be super effective on Hydreigon, and the second hit has caused the Poison Touch to be activated, so Hydreigon has become poisoned as Sneasler has gotten its third strike of this Arm Thrust. It's got 4. It looks like it's going to get all 5. It puts Hydreigon in knockout range of that poisoning as well after getting all 5 connections of that super effective hit. Roaring Moon is going to go with the double team, so it's going to boost its evasiveness. It does not want to be getting hit with those arm thrusts from Sneasler, as Hydreigon is going to respond with the Spite onto Sneasler, and I would be very spiteful of what Sneasler just did to the pseudo legendary, reducing the PP by 4 there, as Goodra is going to go with the hammer arm, bringing the hammer down onto Hydreigon, getting that easy elimination. I have to think it should have definitely gone for Roaring Moon. They know that Hydreigon would have been eliminated there, but they get the early advantages. Out comes Bombardier for the Swag Grunts, and Sneasler is going to go with the Poison Fang now onto Roaring Moon, and yet again another Dark Dragon type has been poisoned, this time Roaring Moon being badly poisoned from that Poison Fang, and it's going to respond with the Torch Song on to, it says on our screens here, Goodra, but it has connected with Sneasler. There is an error there being performed by our team in the back. They need to lift their game, but that super effective hit from Bombardier connects with everyone, almost eliminates Sneasler from this matchup. That Bulldoze even connecting on Roaring Moon, lowering the speed of everybody on the field here as well. As Goodra is going to go with the ally switch, it is going to trade places now with Sneasler on the field, who is an easy target, but Roaring Moon is feeling the effects of that really bad poisoning that is going to get progressively worse. But Bombardier is going to go with the tackle and that easy elimination of Sneasler, taking it out of this matchup. They did not want to deal with the part fighting type. That is very clever of the Suede Grunts, followed up by the disarming voice now from Roaring Moon, which is not very effective on Goodra because it's now that poison type instead of its regular Dragon typing. But that Psy Strike will not affect Roaring Moon. They are immune to Psychic type moves, are all of the Dark type Pokemon, as Roaring Moon continues to feel the poisoning. And now out comes Glamora for the Fuchsia Royal Gators, immediately going with the Hydro Pump. Gets an okay hit there on Roaring Moon for that not very effective move, but does put it in knockout range as the Glaive Rush now from Bombardier onto Goodra. A fantastic hit, and Goodra is in knockout range, and that gooey ability has been activated, lowering the speed of Bombardier. But Roaring Moon following up with the Shadow Punch gets a good hit there onto Glamora, and Goodra is going to go with the Acid Spray here. Looks like it's going to go for Bombardier with that move, and a fantastic hit, but Bombardier is able to hold on. It does have its special defense low, but it is in knockout range as Roaring Moon has been eliminated from that poison that again was getting progressively worse. So Sneasler's impact still being felt in this matchup, as now out comes Mabostiff for the Suede Grunts, and we get the withdraw here from Glamora. It is going to boost that physical defense. Now, it is much more of a special attacker, but it still has that 90 physical defense. As the Draco Meteor onto Glamora, good hit there from Mabostiff, who does lower its special attack to do so. And Bombardier is going to follow it up by flinging its Leper Berry here. Looks like it's going to go for Goodra. Goodra is able to hold on though, and it's going to proceed to eat that Leper Berry that got stuck in its gooey body, as Goodra is going to respond with the extreme speed to finish Bombardier off, and the Fuchsia Royal Gators are out to a very big early lead here. 3 Pokemon remaining for the Spike and Suede Grunts, as out comes Skuntank, and immediately it goes with the Eerie spell onto Glamora, getting that quick, super effective elimination. That is what the Spike and Suede Grunts needed to make sure the Fuchsia Royal Gators didn't run away with it. And Mabostiff is going to follow it up with the Iron Defense. Instead of going for the easy elimination, it is going to boost its physical defense a great deal. And this allows Goodra to go with the Aqua Cutter, a great hit there onto Skuntank. But Skuntank has been revealed to be Zoroark in its illusion form, so we know every member of the Spike and the Suede Grunts here in Game 1 of this Best of 3 series, as out comes Toxtricity, and Zoroark has eliminated Goodra from this matchup. That gooey ability yet again being activated, slowing down Zoroark in the process. But we do have that low-key Toxtricity, as I said, on the field now, as the playing field has been leveled at 3v3, and Mabosstiff goes for the lick on the Toxtricity, gets an okay hit there. And Toxtricity going with the payback, not very effective though, onto Zoroark, as out comes Overcool now for the Fuchsia Royal Gators, and it does have that Intimidate ability. It will lower Zoroark's attack, but Mabosstiff has that Guard Dog ability, so it actually gets an attack boost and capitalizes by going with the Bite onto Toxtricity, almost gets the elimination as well, and the Alluring Voice now from Overcool is going to eliminate Zoroark with that super effective move as well. We do know that Skuntank will be coming out onto the field shortly, but first Toxtricity is unable to move because it's flinched. This is great for the Suede Grunts because this allows Mabosstiff to try and capitalize. It goes with the Poison Tail though onto Overcool, which is not very effective. Overcool does tank that move and is looking to respond here with the Magnetic Flux, but unfortunately that is going to fail, and this allows Skuntank to try and capitalize. It is going to go with the Tail Whip, looking to lower the defenses here of the Fuchsia Royal Gators on the field, and Toxtricity is in knockout range. It doesn't have much defense to work with at the moment, but it is going to go with the Recover. It's going to restore its health. This is a great play by the Poison Electric type. It desperately needed that health back, as Mabosstiff now with the Muddy Water does connect with both Overcool and Toxtricity. It is going to lower Toxtricity's accuracy as well, and Overcool's as well, as Overcool is going to go with the Sacred Sword. This will be super effective, but Skuntank is able to avoid that attack. That lowered accuracy immediately comes into play. We get the Fire Punch onto Overcool. Great hit there from Skuntank, as Toxtricity is going to go with the Razor Shell. But Skuntank avoids that move as well. This is fantastic for the Suede Grunts. Now we get the Foul Play onto Skuntank. Not very effective there from Overquill. And Mabosstiff is going to throw the spikes out onto the side of the Fuchsia Royal Gators. So that last Pokemon for the Royal Gators, if it comes out onto the field, it will take damage. And Skuntank is going to follow it up with the Outrage. And it eliminates Toxtricity from this match. This has leveled the playing field. It is a 2v2 here in game 1, as out comes Muck in its Cantonian form. It does land in those spikes, immediately taking damage. And the super effective Bug Buzz from Overcool onto Mabosstiff. A great hit. Mabosstiff though is going to bring the Judgment onto Overcool, and Overcool will pass Judgment here as Skuntank continues with that Outrage. Going for Muck, gets a fantastic hit, and Muck is looking to respond by setting up the Psychic Terrain. This actually will not benefit Overcool or Muck, because if they get hit, actually, well, Overcool doesn't mind, it's part Dark type, but Muck is very weak to Psychic type moves, as that Mountain Gale is going to finish Overcool off, despite the Suede Grunts have just taken the lead for the first time in this matchup, and Skuntank is going to continue with that Outrage onto Muck. And Muck is able to hold on, but barely by a thread. Skuntank is left confused due to the fatigue. Muck needs to go for something big here. And it goes with the Reflect type, so that Psychic Terrain will not impact anybody. Muck has just become a Dark type Pokemon. Could you imagine seeing a Dark type Muck on the Fuchsia Royal Gators? But the Inferno from Mabosstiff is going to eliminate the Cantonian Muck, and the Spike Mist Suede Grunts have taken game 1. This actually extends their winning streak to 7 games in a row, as we get a field reset, and the Suede Grunts will now have their hidden abilities, as it is Toxicroak and Toxapex starting out for the Fuchsia Royal Gators. It's Luxray and Samurott starting out for the Spikeman Suede Grunts. Samurott, remember, is in its Hisuian form, and Luxray is the terrestrial Pokemon for the Spikeman Suede Grunts, and it has had a fantastic season, and it wants to extend that here by winning this qualifying trial and going on to the major semi-trial, because the winner of this match will move on to face the Heart Home Spectres next week. The Magnetic Flux from Toxicroak will fail here, and this allows Samurott to try and capitalize, going with the Stomp. A good hit there onto Toxicroak, and Luxray is going to follow up with the Guard Split here, focusing in on Toxapex. So it does average out their defenses, and Toxapex is a very defensive Pokemon. Going with the Parting Shot, it is going to go back to the bench, but before that happens, it is going to lower that physical and special attack of Samurott here on the field. And Samurott is a very offensive Pokemon, as now out comes Muck in its Alolan form, which is actually a part Dark type, and it's going to be on the receiving end of the Arm Thrust from Samurott. We saw this pay off fantastically for Sneasler in game 1, but it doesn't seem to be doing as much damage to Muck thanks to that part poison typing that it does have. Remember that the poison types do resist those fighting type moves, but that is a lot of connections here from Samurott, getting all 5, and Toxicroak is going to look to respond with the Stone Edge, going for Luxray. Gets a good hit there on the terrestrial Pokemon, who is going to respond with the Confuse Ray. This is going to confuse Toxicroak, and if it does damage to itself, that is fantastic for the Sway Grunts, but terrible for the Royal Gators here in Fuchsia City. And Muck now is going to go with the Throat Chop onto Luxray. Not very effective, but still gets a good hit on the former Electric type, as Toxicroak needs to shake off this confusion. And it is unsuccessful, doing damage to itself. That is always unfortunate to see, and this does allow Samurott to go for the Smart Strike here onto Toxicroak. And Luxray is going to follow up with the Tailwind, so that wind will blow from behind the Swade Grunts, giving them that speed boost, as Muck now is going to go with the Moonlight, so it is going to restore its health here on the field. Getting itself back to full strength, but Samurott with that boosted speed is going to go with the Shell Smash, so it is going to sacrifice its defenses here to give itself that offensive boost as well as the speed boost. And Luxray has 108 base attack, 100 base speed. You do not want to be taking any damage from Samurott right now on the field, as Luxray is going to go with the Coil, so it's also going to boost its offenses, boosting that physical attack stat. That's a base 120, as well as boosting its defense and its accuracy, so it's more likely to hit you now, as Toxicroak has snapped out of its confusion already and goes with the workup. So everybody here on the field boosting those stats, Toxicroak boosting that physical attack, that's a base 106, as well as its special attack. And now the Play Nice from Muck, it's actually going to look to lower that boosted attack of Luxray. Samurott though is looking to capitalize, going with the Grass Knot onto Toxicroak, and gets the elimination with that not very effective move. It does get the critical hit as well, giving the Spike Miss Sway Grunts the first elimination of this game too, and it's followed up by the Thunderbolt from Luxray onto Muck. Gets a good hit, but Muck is going to respond with the Power Split now onto Samurott, looking to share its power with Samurott, averaging out those attacks. And now Toxicroak's coming back out onto the field, as Samurott is going to go with the Alluring Voice onto Muck, trying to capitalize on that part Dark type, and Luxray follows it up with the Dragon Rush, coming down hard onto the Toxapex, gets a good hit there, and Muck, looking to respond, goes with the Facade here onto Samurott. Samurott finally takes some damage in this matchup, and Toxapex has flinched as that Tailwind does peter out for the Sway Grunts, but they still have the speed advantage, and the Bulldoze now from Samurott eliminates Muck. It is super effective on the poison types. It does lower Luxray speed as well as Toxapex, although Toxapex is already very slow. And thankfully it's not super effective on Luxray, because it's no longer an electric type, as it goes with the Night Slash onto Toxapex, and it completes the huge play with that critical hit. That's 3 Pokemon down now for the Fuchsia Royal Gators. They need to work their way back into this, as out comes Goodra, and it is joined by Toxtricity. Goodra yet again taking on that Terrestrial form. The Sway Grunts are looking to take this series 2-0 and extend their winning streak to 8 games in a row. Now the loser of this matchup will not be eliminated. They will move on to week 2, remember, into the minor semi-final, as that Rock Smash is not very effective on Toxtricity, but it is going to lower Toxtricity's physical defense. Goodra, who has taken on that Terrestrial form, now going with the Icicle Spear, this multi-hit move onto Samurott. It's got 2, but it will only get 2 of that not very effective move, Samurott being part Water type. Toxtricity though with the Tri-Attack here onto Luxray, puts Luxray into knockout range, and it's left Luxray frozen here. This is great for the Royal Gators, because they need some eliminations on the board. They do not want to lose this match here. Luxray frozen solid, Samurott having to do its part. It's going to go for the Sheer Cold, but Goodra is able to avoid that attack, and this allows Goodra to respond with the Heal Bell. But unfortunately, even though that bell will chime, there is no healing that needs to be done for Toxtricity, who is going to go with the Expanding Force, but this will not work. It doesn't affect Luxray, and Luxray has already thawed out here on the field, and it's going to go with the Shadow Punch onto Goodra. Goodra taking its first damage of the matchup, and it's going to be followed up with the Retaliate from Samurott. And that is a fantastic connection on the Pseudo Legendary, who does look to respond by setting up with the Meteor Beam. It is going to get that special attack boost, with that special attack already being base 110. Whoever takes this hit could be taking massive damage, but first the Rock Smash onto Luxray, and Luxray is eliminated with that super effective move. That is exactly what Toxtricity needed to do. The Fuchsia Royal Gators needed an elimination here. They did not want to be clean swept in game 2. As now out comes King Gambit for the Spike Mid Sway Grunts, and it is putting that pressure on the Royal Gators. Samurott though with the Metal Sound onto Toxtricity here, looking to lower that defense, sorry, that special defense of Toxtricity on the field. But Goodra is going to finish off the Meteor Beam. It goes for King Gambit, though. This won't be very effective. Still gets a good hit, though. In fact, that part still taking a bit of damage, but now taking damage from that super effective Sand Tomb from Toxtricity, and it is going to become trapped by that Quicksand, so it will be taking continuous damage. But first, it's going to try and offset that by going with the Aqua Ring. That Veil of Water is going to restore its health, as we see right now in between turns. But can it offset that Quicksand? Not by much. Still taking a lot of damage from that Sand Tomb. Samurott is going to go with the Esper Wing. This is going to be super effective, and Goodra is eliminated from this match. There's only 2 Pokemon remaining from the Fuchsia Royal Gators. There are still 5 remaining for the Spikeness Suicune. They are looking to go into next week with all the momentum. Toxtricity, though, is going to go with the soft build. It is going to restore its health. It knows it has a lot of work to do, but it may be too early to be restoring your health when you have that much left. Now we get the Power Whip from King Gambit. Not very effective, but a great hit there onto Toxtricity as King Gambit continues to restore its health with the Veil of Water, but it still is feeling the effects of that Sand Tomb. And now out comes Muck, the last Pokemon again for the Fuchsia Royal Gators, as the smoke screen from Samurott is going to lower that accuracy of Toxtricity, and it really needs to be able to hit its targets, as it is going to go with the Iron Tail. But Samurott is able to avoid that attack. Muck, though, looking to do its part, goes for the Terra Blaster onto Samurott, and Samurott's able to hold on barely. King Gambit with the Leaf Storm in response. Very little damage being done to Muck, and it is going to lower that special attack of King Gambit. King Gambit is still having its health restored. Now, whoever does lose this series will, as I said, go to the minor semi-final next week, where they will be at risk of elimination. Samurott with the double edge onto Muck, another great hit, but Samurott does take the recoil damage, and it is eliminated from this matchup. Samurott takes itself out with a huge connection, but now the Focus Blast follow-up from Toxtricity is super effective on King Gambit. King Gambit is eliminated from this matchup. This is what the Fuchsia Royal Gators need. They are working their way back into this. Muck is going to splash around on the field in the meantime, so nothing will happen, as now out comes Roaring Moon for the Spikeness Suicune. And it is going to be joined by Skuntank, and immediately Roaring Moon is going to go for the Aura Sphere onto Toxtricity. Not very effective. Toxtricity is able to tank that move, but it's followed up by Skuntank going with the Rock Polish here, so it is going to boost its speed. It's already quicker than the 2 poison types on the field, though. Toxtricity with the Facade does go for Skuntank there, does get a good hit as well, and Muck, looking to follow it up, goes with the Sludge onto Roaring Moon. Another good hit. Skuntank, now the quickest on the field, though, is going to go for the Eerie spell. This will be super effective, and Muck is eliminated from this matchup. Toxtricity is all by itself. It has 3 Dark types to contend with. Roaring Moon, though, is going to ride that Surf, and Toxtricity is eliminated. The Spikeness Suicune have clean swept this series, defeating the Fuchsia Royal Gators 2-0. They've extended their winning streak to 8 games here, and this will mean that they are going on to face the Heart Home Spectres next round. The Poison types will be facing the winner of the Olivine Carbons and the Lumiose Glitches next round, but we are still going into our exhibition game 3 here in Fuchsia City. I do look forward, though, to that match between the Heart Home Spectres and the Spikeness Suicune, as we do get a field reset. The Fuchsia Royal Gators do have their hidden abilities back, but it will be Samurott and Luxray starting out again for the Spikeness Suicune. It is Glamora and Toxicroak starting out for the Fuchsia Royal Gators, and Luxray with that Intimidate ability, is going to lower that attack stat of both Glamora and Toxicroak here, as Luxray yet again taking on its Terrestrial form. And the Fuchsia Royal Gators need to win this match to build some confidence. They need to know that they can defeat the Spikeness Suicune. The Spikeness Suicune have defeated every side here, as Luxray taking massive damage there from Glamora. It is followed up by a high jump kick from Toxicroak, and Samurott is eliminated with a 1-hit wonder. Super effective hit. Luxray is going to respond, though, with the Scary Face, looking to lower that speed of Glamora here on the field, see if it is slower than Luxray, as now out comes King Gambit for the Spikeness Suicune, and with that Supreme Overlord ability, it is going to take some strength from the fallen Samurott. But the fake Tears from Toxicroak. It clearly doesn't care. It's going to lower that special defense of King Gambit as Luxray is going to go for the Inferno, but Toxicroak is able to avoid that attack, and King Gambit, looking to do its part, goes for the charge, so it will begin charging power, looking to power up any electric type moves that it does go for, and it boosts its special defense in the process as Glimmora now is going to go for a defense kill, so it's going to boost its defense here on the field. It does have that base 90 defense, remember. It's Toxicroak with the corrosive gas. It is going to corrode away everybody's Leopard Barrier on the field, except for its own. It even does corrode away Glimmora's as Luxray is going to go with the no retreat. It knows that even though this is an exhibition game, it is still playing for it all. It goes with the Omni boost. But as I said, the Fuchsia Royal Gators need to convince themselves that they can defeat the Spikemas Grunts. They need the victory here, even though this is an exhibition game. And we get the Meteor Mash onto Toxicroak. Toxicroak is able to hold on, but barely, from that connection from King Gambit as the Feather Dance now from Glimmora onto King Gambit is going to lower his physical attack a great deal. Luxray, though, with the Earth Power, is going to finish Toxicroak off with that super effective move, immediately leveling the playing field. The Spikemas Grunts want all the momentum going in to face the Hardhome Spectres, who have had a fantastic season, only having lost 3 games all season, but one of them, the last time, was actually to the Spikemas Grunts, as Glimmora and Luxray have been confused by King Gambit after that Teeter Dance. Glimmora is going to need to shake off this confusion here, but unfortunately it is going to do damage to itself, and as I always say, it's always terrible to say, as out comes Muck in its Alolan form. Luxray, with the speed advantage, needs to shake off its own confusion, and it is unsuccessful in doing so, doing damage to itself. I'm not sure that's what King Gambit intended, as it's going to go with the triple dive onto Glimmora, trying to capitalize on that part rock typing that it does have, taking those first 2 hits, now coming in for that third there on the rock poison type with that super effective connection. And Muck, going for its first move of the matchup, is going to go with the Reflect type. So it's going to actually get rid of that Poison typing and gain that Steel typing that King Gambit has, becoming the same type there as King Gambit. Glimmora is still confused here on the field, but this time it is able to shake it off, and it's going to go for the Sand Tomb. We saw this pay off, but Luxray is able to avoid that attack. We saw it pay off when they did it to King Gambit, though Luxray still in a confused state as well, and yet again does more damage to itself, putting itself in knockout range. Have to think if it takes a hit, it will be eliminated. The Rock Throw, though, from Muck onto King Gambit. King Gambit resisting that move. It's not very effective, and even with the critical hit, it barely left a scratch, as it is going to bring the Judgment onto Muck. Not very effective there on the part Steel type Muck, as Glimmora has snapped out of its confusion. And it goes with the Hammer Arm, bringing down that hammer onto Luxray. That super effective move does eliminate the Terrestrial Pokemon from this matchup. It does lower the speed of Glimmora in the process, but the Fuchsia Royal Gators have taken back the lead in this exhibition game here. And now out comes Hydreigon, the pseudo-legendary, who didn't have much of a good showing in that first game, goes with the Heart Swap onto Muck, switching those stat changes with Muck, as Muck does respond with the Psycho Cut, but this will not work. The Dark types are immune to Psychic type moves, and the Alolan Muck should know that, being part Dark type, but it's on the receiving end of a super effective Cross Chop, and it is eliminated by King Gambit. A fantastic connection. Glimmora, they're going to respond with the Hard Press onto King Gambit. Not very effective whatsoever, as out comes Overquill for the Fuchsia Royal Gators, and we saw that Intimidate ability come into play earlier on. It's going to lower the physical attack stat of the 2 Dark types on the field. Not Overquill, obviously, as the Fake Tears from Hydreigon is going to lower that special defense of Glimmora, and Overquill now with the Poltergeist is going to use that Leopard Berry to attack Hydreigon here. Hydreigon taking its first damage of the match with that not very effective move, and it is revealed to be Zoroark in its illusion form here, as King Gambit is going to respond with the Aqua Tail onto Glimmora. Super effective hit there. Glimmora taking that damage really well, though, and it's going to respond with the Flying Press onto Zoroark, puts it into elimination. Knockout range with that super effective move, as that Strength gets a critical hit on Overquill there from Zoroark. Overquill going to respond though with the Stomp and eliminate Zoroark from this matchup. This is what the Fuchsia Royal Gators needed earlier on. They actually did really well in game 1, but just couldn't hold the advantage, as the bite onto Glimmora from King Gambit. Glimmora is going to respond though by putting the Charm here onto King Gambit, and yet again King Gambit's physical attack does get lowered, as now out comes the real Hydreigon for the Spikemas Grunts. Immediately it is going to go with the Fire Spin. Not very effective there on Glimmora, but has become trapped in that fiery vortex. Overcool is going to go with the Toxic, and this is going to badly poison Hydreigon. This is going to get progressively worse. Yet again, Hydreigon has been poisoned in this series. And the Shadow Force is being set up by Kingambit, so it does vanish from the field instantly. Glimmora needs to go for Hydreigon, but instead it goes with the Shell Smash. It's actually going to cut into its defenses to boost those offensive stats as well as that speed. It needs to go for Hydreigon after it's had that speed boosted. It's surely going to be quicker than Kingambit now. Hydreigon feeling the effects of that poisoning for the first time again. This will get progressively worse with every turn, but Glimmora is eliminated by that Fire Spin, leveling the playing field. This is practically what happened to the Future Royal Gators in Game 1, as out comes Toxapex onto the field. Hydreigon is going to go with the Aqua Jet onto Overcool. Overcool tanks that move, and it is going to respond with the Teeter Dance. This is going to confuse everybody on the field. We've already seen this, but Kingambit is actually able to avoid that attack as it is still in the Shadow Force. Toxapex needs to shake off its confusion, so does Hydreigon. Toxapex will be going up against it first, but first Kingambit is going to complete the Shadow Force, going for Toxapex. Toxapex with those heavy defenses is able to tank that move, but it could be doing more damage to itself if it doesn't shake off this confusion, and it does damage itself. That is terrible, terrible to see. Hydreigon's poisoning is getting worse here. And Hydreigon now is trying to shake off its confusion, and it is successful in doing so, going with the Muddy Water, but Overcool is able to avoid that attack. It's not going to be very effective on Toxapex here on the field. And Overcool looking to capitalize, goes with the Kowtow Cleave onto Kingambit. It's not very effective. Kingambit tanks that move, but the disrespect, Kingambit responds with the Wild Charge, puts Overcool in knockout range, and Kingambit does get the recoil damage. Clearly not happy with taking that Kowtow Cleave. Toxapex is still confused, but this time it is able to shake it off. It goes with the Crush Claw onto Kingambit. Not very effective yet again. Hydreigon's poisoning continues to get worse with every passing second, and it is still in a confused state, so it's at risk of doing damage to itself, and that is exactly what has happened. Hydreigon does do damage to itself in its confusion. Overcool looking to capitalize, goes with the Mach Punch. Kingambit's able to hold on after that super effective move. It's in knockout range though. It is going to respond with the Fury Swipes onto Overcool. I'm not sure even if it gets all 5 that it will be able to do enough to get the elimination, but Kingambit clearly wants Overcool off that field, still not appreciating that Kowtow Cleave. And Overcool is still hanging on even after 5 hits, and Toxapex has snapped out of its confusion. It is going to go with the Corrosive Gas. We've seen this happen. It is going to corrode away everybody's Leopard Berry on the field. It doesn't work on Kingambit, who's already lost theirs. And Hydreigon's poisoning is still chipping away at its health. It may have 1, maybe 2 turns, but if it does damage to itself, it may just take itself out of the match. It is able to shake it off though. It's going to go for the Brick Break onto Toxapex. Not very effective due to that poison typing though, even with the critical hit. Overcool is going to respond with the Lumina Crash. This will not work. It should know better, going for a Dark type with a Psychic type move. Kingambit looking to capitalize, goes with the Magnet Rise. It is going to begin to levitate with that electromagnetism, and Toxapex is going to go with the Syrup Bomb. This won't be very effective on Kingambit, and it's able to hold on. Kingambit's holding on, but it is going to have its speed lowered, being stuck in that candy syrup. And Hydreigon is finally eliminated due to that poison that it's gotten so bad it takes the Pseudo Legendary out of the match. And Kingambit does have its speed lowered, as we're about to find out. It will be Mabosstiff joining it on the field. Overcool immediately with the Mighty Cleave, and a fantastic critical hit on Mabosstiff, who is going to respond with the Agility, trying to make itself the quickest Pokemon on the field. The Future Royal Gators need this victory. They want that confidence. They need to know they can beat the Spikemas. Wake Runs, Mega Drain onto Mabosstiff. Critical hit there by Toxapex. It is trying to restore its health, trying to keep itself in this matchup. Kingambit now is going to go with the Magic Room, so it's clearly not focusing in on Overcool anymore. Instead, it is going to make it so everyone's held items lose their effects, and most people have already lost, most Pokemon, sorry, have already lost their Leopard Berries. Kingambit continues to be slowed down as the Water Spout from Mabosstiff is going to eliminate Overcool. It's not very effective on Toxapex, and yet again, it is a 2 versus 2 matchup. The Future Royal Gators are at risk of losing that lead. Toxapex with the Baton Pass, so it's going to go back to the bench. It will be coming back out very shortly. But it is Sneasler coming out onto the field, and it's immediately on the receiving end of the Aqua Tail from Kingambit, and Toxapex now coming back out onto the field. Sneasler does have that part fighting type, and remember, Tail Whip from Mabostiff is going to lower the defenses of both Toxapex and Sneasler. Spikeman Swag Grunts looking to take back control, but Sneasler is going to go with the match. Gotcha. This is going to connect with both Dark types. And King Gambit's eliminated. Mabostiff is barely holding on by a thread. Sneasler does get some of its health restored. Not a great deal, but any health back is always fantastic for any Pokemon. Mabostiff looking to take down 2 poison types, but Toxapex with the Fairy Wind is going to prevent that from happening. That super effective move will give the Fuchsia Royal Gators the victory here in this exhibition game, but it will be the Spikeman Swag Grunts going into the major semi-final. The Fuchsia Royal Gators, will be going into the minor semi-trial to face the winner of the Olivine Carbons and the Lumiose Glitches. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.